It is 3-2 right now. The Florida Panthers. I believe Game 6 is going to take place. Am I correct? In Florida tonight.
Yes, it is tonight at 8:30, or it's at 8:00, I believe. Let me double check on that. I want to give you the right information.
Now, I do know this because I did look this up because I can't believe nobody is actually talking about this anywhere. Josh, I don't even know if you know this. In the history of the Stanley Cup Final, there has not been a back-to-back matchup of two teams where both series have gone to a Game 7.
So, okay. This is the first repeat Stanley Cup Final since the Detroit Red Wings and Pittsburgh Penguins did it back in 2008-2009. In 2008, the Red Wings won that series in 6 games, with Game 6 being in Pittsburgh. And then in 2009, the Penguins came back and won that series in 7 games, with Game 7 being in Detroit. We haven't had a repeat Stanley Cup champion since the Tampa Bay Lightning did it in 2020 when they won against the Dallas Stars in the bubble. And then they won in 2021 in a really bizarre Stanley Cup final where they played the Montreal Canadiens, who aren't even in the Western Conference. They're in the East. In fact, Montreal is in the same division as the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Wait, why was that a Stanley Cup?
It was because it was just a really bizarre playoff format.
It was like post-COVID. They didn't play as many games, I would guess, and they changed the playoff format for 1 year.
Like okay. Montreal played Vegas in like the semifinals. It was really weird. But here's even crazier. The last 5 Stanley Cups, going all the way back to 2020, have either included the Tampa Bay Lightning or the Florida Panthers.
Hot weather Florida teams good at hockey.
Yeah, I know. So much so that both the Winter Classic and the Stadium Series are both going to be in Florida next season.
Huh?
I know, right? The Winter Classic is going to be the New York Rangers against the Tampa Bay or against the Florida Panthers.
How are they going to do that? Are they going to use artificial ice?
I don't know. And then they're going to do the Boston Bruins against the Tampa Bay Lightning in the Stadium Series. Don't ask me how it's going to work. I don't know.
Is that going to be at Raymond James?
Yes.
Okay. That's a new one.
Here's the funnier part. They're doing the Winter Classic at the Marlins Stadium.
Well, at least those fans of that stadium will see more action than they will in the last decade down there at the Marlins Stadium.
Yes, but in the last game up in Edmonton, Florida won that game pretty handily, which was shocking because in Game 4 down in Florida, Edmonton got down 3-0. They made a goalie change.
Yeah, I thought it was over. Like, I was checking highlights. I'll be honest with you. I was back and forth with it. I turned it off. I looked at my phone. I said, wait, what? Edmonton won?
Yeah. And so I thought, okay, Edmonton coming back home. Series is tied 2-2. They're going to come out flying. They're going to win and put all the pressure on Florida in Game 6. Nope. Edmonton kind of came out flat as a pancake. Brad Marchand scored 2 goals, and Florida is now 1 win away from being the first. Like I said, they're 1 win away from being the first repeat Stanley Cup champion since the Tampa Bay Lightning in 2020 and 2021. If they win it tonight, I would think the Conn Smythe would go to Sam Bennett. He has played phenomenally, not just in the Stanley Cup final, but throughout all the playoffs. Interestingly, last season, even though Florida won the Stanley Cup, the Conn Smythe went to Connor McDavid of the Edmonton.
Right, of Edmonton. And that's the Stanley Cup MVP, correct?
Yes, but for the whole playoffs, not just for the Stanley Cup.
I forgot about that. That is so weird to me.
Yeah, it's not like with the NBA finals where you and I agree SGA will win Finals MVP once the Thunder wrap it up.
Here's a question. Does the award have to go to someone that's playing in the finals?
Yeah, it generally does. I haven't seen a
Okay.
case where it goes to a player that's been eliminated earlier.
But they award it just for the whole playoffs?
As far as I know, yes.
I think that okay, well, I mean, it's a trophy, it's on your resume, but the wording of that's just weird.